and then going back before that to the time of Atlantis, and also to the preceding Vedic civilization in India from 10 or 15, 20,000 years ago. All of that and more, I think, probably do have remnants in existence on this planet, under this planet, and quite possibly also on the Moon and on Mars, and perhaps elsewhere in the solar system, and conceivably even in nearby solar systems. Now, I do consider that the present, say, beginning maybe even as long ago as the period of the American Civil War in the early to mid 1860s, I believe starting then there was probably enough of a scientific, engineering, and industrial base in terms of its sophistication, and also a machine tool capability to begin to make technology with a high enough degree of precision that enterprising minds and engineers and scientists, I believe, could already, 150 years ago, have begun to make tremendous breakthroughs in compartmentalized programs that would have permitted already in the last half of the 19th century technological, scientific, and engineering breakthroughs such as this so-called breakaway or parallel civilization actually predate the World War II period and post-World War II period. Though, having said that, it's clear that during the Nazi era and after, continuing right down to the present day, that this breakaway or parallel technical faction that's highly compartmentalized, extremely secretive and very well financed, has made tremendous strides and advances that have been kept back. 99% of it has been kept back from us. We don't see it in our everyday society, but it is being used in secret, and my research strongly indicates that.
Thank you, Richard. We're now moving into the cataclysms, aliens, advanced technology, and breakaway civilizations portion of questioning.
The next set of questions comes from Vito.
Yes, Richard, at this point, I just wanted to thank you for all your dedicated hard work and the peaceful and liberty-minded intentions that you hold for the average man and woman on planet Earth in light of all the personal dangers that you have probably faced in doing so. And I also want to thank you for the very personal touch of signing all the books that you sell, or at least the ones that I bought from you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
And my question is for you next is, in light of the orchestrated 9/11 event, the Patriot Act, and the many other losses of our freedoms, along with the apparent secret underground and ocean society with extraterrestrials, how do you see a peaceful way to overcome the prison planet that the powers that be or were have planned for us?
Well, we already have a prison planet. Let me say that at the outset. I first heard this term in about the year 1985 or 86, and so that's like a quarter of a century ago. But within 2 seconds, I understood the truth of it. We are on a prison planet. We have been for a long time, at least for thousands of years, if not tens, maybe even hundreds of thousands of years, maybe even millions of years. But we are on a prison planet. This planet is quarantined for some reason. We, as a human race, apparently are under a collective state of amnesia. We don't remember our own history. We don't have any knowledge as a global civilization. The average man and woman in the street only has the haziest, foggiest concept of what happened 5, 10, 20, 30,000 years ago, if anything. I mean, before the time of the Roman Empire, we know there was ancient Egypt, and before that, it's all just a big fog, a big haze. So we as a race have clearly been here on this planet a long time, and we don't have the faintest clue what happened to us 20, 30, 50, 60, 80, 100,000, 200,000 years ago. So we are absolutely confused and forgetful. We're like, it's like a mental asylum. It's as if we are in a huge mental asylum, a global prison planet. The only way I see out of this for us is a lot of us, as many of us as possible, have to open up our higher spiritual centers. This would mean our heart chakra, our third eye chakra, and the crown chakra. For those who aren't familiar with chakras and Kundalini-based mysticism and spirituality and yoga, Google these terms: chakra, C-H-A-K-R-A. Google Kundalini. Google third eye. These types of terms, crown chakra. Because when you open these higher chakras through meditation or through some type of yoga, through some type of chanting of the divine names of God, activities like this, you gain conscious access to hyper conscious states of awareness, to super conscious states of knowing that the average person ordinarily doesn't tap into. We, as a race, have been systematically dumbed down for thousands and thousands of years. I perceive the activity of the machine and all of its helpers in this very active program of dumbing down of humanity to where we have been so flummoxed, fooled, and confused that we don't know anymore who we are or where we've come from. And it's been observed many times by a variety of thinkers that you can't know where you're going if you don't know where you've come from. So you first have to understand something about yourself. You can only understand where you are now by comprehending what happened in the past. And only in understanding what happened in the past and grokking how that shaped your circumstances and your situation in the present can you intelligently formulate a plan for how you're going to handle things in the future, how you're going to configure the circumstances of your life and your society now, so that in the future will be different both from the present and even more so from the past. So we must have higher consciousness. There are some ways to get that, as I said, through various types of yoga, and there are different yoga systems. People are most familiar, I think, with Hatha yoga, but there's also Japa yoga, which is chanting of the names of God and establishing through the name of God, whatever name you choose, Allah, Jesus, Buddha, Yahweh, Krishna. I mean, there are many names you could choose and to tap into the divine levels of reality, and then your mind will begin to resonate with a higher level of understanding, and you will see more clearly and think more clearly. Or there are many websites now offering a variety of CDs and MP3s that you can download from the internet in many cases for $9.95. This is American dollars, or $19.95 or $29.95. In other words, the prices are not very exorbitant. These are meditation CDs, helpful for opening the heart chakra, the third eye chakra, or the crown chakra, for helping people to obtain the ability or develop the ability to go consciously out of the body, or to have the conscious lucid dreaming state of awareness. And all of this is helpful for raising consciousness, for expanding consciousness, for increasing the level of understanding of elevated levels of awareness. So you look for these websites, they'll oftentimes use keyword terms like brain sync, sync, S-Y-N-C, or mind sync, M-I-N-D-S-Y-N-C, or holo sync, HOLOSYNC. Or there are others like binaural, BINAURAL. The binaural technology has been widely used for decades now, where you put on headphones and a different frequency of sound is fed into each ear. So the right ear might get, say, an audio tone of 104 cycles. The left ear might get an audio tone of 101 cycles. The brain splits the difference and makes a cycle of 3 cycles, which is in delta brainwave state. And so as you listen to this, you move into a very deep meditative state. Your brain naturally is entrained in this way by this audio input through your auditory cortex. So all of this is available if people want to use it. Any of these methods can be effective. The question is, do people want to use them? And my perspective is, a lot of us had better start doing these things seriously every day, because we need to raise our game now.
Well put. I concur. On the note of the people who aren't meditating daily, do you perceive any connections with HAARP, the Fukushima earthquake, the BP oil spill, the New Orleans hurricane and flooding, global weather changes, and all the New World Order prison planet type things? Do you think all or some of those may be put upon us by the prison planet tyrants?
Oh yeah, some of them definitely are. The nuclear technology, for example, is dastardly. It is nasty, wicked, evil stuff. Little more need be said. Just look at what's happening in Fukushima. We cannot handle nuclear technology. It is beyond our means. It is deadly. It is lethal for our geological age. Once you uncork the nuclear genie, the bottle, the nuclear genie comes out. It's like opening the lid to Pandora's box, and all of these evil beings, these lethally radioactive particles come sleeting out by the millions and trillions. How do you fix that? I mean, once you set it loose, how do you fix it? And the answer is, it's almost impossible. So the only way to fix it is not to create the situation in the first place so that the problem arises. Unfortunately, we now have hundreds of these nuclear power reactors on this planet. So we have called the tune, and it appears that we are now going to pay the radioactive piper, and it will be, the price is going to be a hard one. That's all I can say. And a lot of people are going to be weeping radioactive tears, and what they burn. What can I tell you? Radioactive tears burn.
Well, hopefully we can do something about that. Tell me.
We haven't yet. So I'm past the hope stage. You see, and this is the point I'm making. This is a time that separates the women from the girls, the men from the boys. It's no good to hope. What are you going to concretely do? You can sit in your chair and hope that money falls out of the sky into your hand. You can sit in a chair and hope that the nuclear reactors in Japan will magically stop melting down. Won't happen. Concrete actions are necessary, and at the very least, what needs to happen right now is every single nuclear reactor on this planet needs to be shut down, because they are all prone to catastrophic failure. We've already had 4 that have failed catastrophically. So 1% in the last quarter century of the nuclear